Hey guys, Gary Craig, Premier Martial Arts Round Rock in Texas. I'm very excited to go ahead and show you what you're about to watch, which is the first part of an interview, exclusive interview with Mr. Barry Vanover of course, Premier Martial Arts International. Hope you enjoy the footage, and we'll have the other parts for you real soon. Thanks. Hey guys, so here we are with Mr. Barry Vanover.
Hello, everyone.
He is the president of Premier Martial Arts International, and I just wanted to run a few questions by with him to go over some fun stuff, some business, some industry, and some what makes the man tick, so to speak.
Awesome, yeah, I look forward to it.
So let's go ahead and start off with the basic question, I guess, that everybody would ask. How did you get involved in martial arts in the beginning? When did it start?
You know, I grew up in eastern Kentucky in a county called Pikeville, Kentucky. This is like literally the Hatfield-McCoy story. This is where it all went down and all happened. So real rural Appalachia. My father had these, in the back of our farm, there was a building, and he had built two small apartments above a garage that he rented out. And those two guys, one of the people rented the apartments, this young guy and his wife and his brother would come over, and those two guys did karate, did martial arts. And so first time I ever saw anything was I saw them in the backyard with their gis on. I think they were practicing breaking boards or something and doing stuff and moves, and you know, I'm probably 8 at this time, and I'm like, what is that, you know? So they asked my father, hey, can we take your son, me, to class with us? So class was in this on Tuesday, Thursday nights at 6 o'clock in this skating rink, country, dirty skating rink, and that's how I trained there from 8 to 15. I got my black belt 15 because you had to wear a white stripe through it until you were 16. So I remember. And I had a couple months there before I got my solid black belt, you know.
Cool.
So that's where it all started.
So it all started because you saw some people doing it, and it piqued your interest.
Yeah, and they were like, hey, you know, because I was always into basketball and other sports, but they were like, hey, can you, can Barry go with us to take him to karate? I guess they were trying to grow their class. So I went up there, and I still remember the first time I put on that white gi. It was a used gi that somebody had, and I remember putting it on, and something clicked, man. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That's the feeling right there. As soon as you put that uniform on, you automatically feel part of it,
yeah.
And like your journey begins.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what kind of style of martial arts was it?
It was let's just call it Chinese karate. They referred to it as, you know, Shaolin Do, and they still do. So it's kind of a hard thing because, you know, even when I got a little older and I would go to Chinese events and tournaments, I could see the moves and understood the moves, but they did it different. And we wore gis, and we did pretty much the same moves, but we did it like a karate guy would. So I asked the instructor once, you know, why are we Chinese and these guys look like this and do this, but we look like this and we do the same moves different, harder line. And he was, he just explained the influence and the history and, you know, where he ended up and the training. So basically, he's like, it's Chinese karate. It's Chinese moves, but we do it hard style like karate. And the closest thing he related it to would be Kimpo, because you know Kimpo is basically Chinese karate. You know, nobody would confuse Kimpo with being kung fu, but you know, a lot of the Kimpo influence came, you know, from China to Hawaii and so forth.
Cool. So when you were in that school, did you have a lot of students in that school? Was it just a hardcore group of people that were the regulars?
Yeah, you know, you're talking back when I was a young kid. Yeah, man, there might have been 20 people at any given time practicing inside the skating rink. You know, I'm sure there were. Yeah, I'm sure there were some that were. Yeah, and I was the youngest. There were a bunch of adult guys doing it.
So the training method as well is a lot more, I don't want to say discipline, because we still have a lot of discipline nowadays, but there's certain things that I know for myself as well that
probably for you, if you weren't in the right stances or things like that, I don't know if you would get kicked, pushed, or told, or what, but that was kind of how it was for myself. So was that kind of a similar thing?
Yeah,
for
a
you?
little much harder core training
Yeah.
than we would do to our students in a
Yeah.
commercial setting. 30 years later, when everybody's so socially sensitive,
Yeah.
that those guys can get away with a lot more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
we can.
It seems hardcore. I don't know if that's the right. It's just what we knew.
That's just what we did.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't think it was any better training. I think martial arts has evolved, and the training's better. It's smarter. It's more scientific.
Mm-hmm.
Even how we approach to teach students, the psychology is better. The relationships are better. It's way better nowadays.
Yeah.
Than,
So you're not doing 800 of the same
yeah,
thing.
I mean it's easy for old school martial arts guys to reminisce about the good old days and glorify them, but those days are long gone, so you tend to romanticize them. In reality, we're probably in a much better place with our training right now, much smarter. And
I would agree with that. So as a young person, what did it teach you? How did you said you started at A and you went through your teenage years, so how did you feel as a result of the benefits that you were getting as a child?
There was no concept of learning or getting personal development. The personal development you got, nowadays we're teaching kids about perseverance and character development, focus and concentration and all these things in an organized professional curriculum called our Black Belt Excellence Program. Back then, or at least where I was training, and people that I know trained back in that time, character development wasn't necessarily the driving force behind training, and nobody knew, other than the discipline you got from suffering through training and coming back day in and day out and walking out feeling like, wow, I achieved something, I made it through the class. And, other than that type of discipline and fitness through training hard, and you could definitely got benefits, but, nothing like the character development side of things that martial arts has developed into, today.
Yeah. Did you find that especially as a teenager, did you find did people know you were doing martial arts, or did you kind of
that's
keep it
funny.
cool and quiet?
I kind of kept that quiet. Very few people, only the closest friends of mine knew that I even trained in martial arts, but I was a black belt in high school before people knew I was even training.
And then
by the time they knew I did martial arts, I was a black belt.
Okay, yeah. I remember a similar kind of thing, a similar experience. I went on training for about 3 years, and all of a sudden a friend of mine said, "You do martial arts, don't you?" Maybe. I kind of kept quiet. I don't know what it was. You just didn't want to brag. It was like your thing, and you kind of wanted to keep it your own little secret.
That's exactly
your own little
how
identity.
I thought. This was mine. I did it at night. No one knew, and I still played basketball and other sports and stuff. But this was kind of my thing that I wanted to keep to myself. And that was back in the days where, the Bruce Lee movies were so popular. I mean, I remember getting up, and the first cable type channel before HBO that we got in the country was this channel called the Movie Channel. And they only showed Bruce Lee movies at 3:30 in the morning. But I remember setting my alarm clock and me and my dad getting up at 3 or 4 and watching a Bruce Lee movie before we went off to school and worked together. And so it was that, Bruce Lee was pretty...
He had a profound effect on a lot of people.
Yeah,
and the things he could do.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that first part of the interview with Mr. Vanover. More to come in the next week or so. In the meantime, good luck with training, good luck with your business. We'll see you soon.